Hi everybody, Ben here from Art Less Ordinary. So today we are doing a complete experiment. So it's going to be a pearl pour, but it's using different paints to what I've ever tried before. So normally I would use Extreme Sheen or the decoart metallics. So this time I'm going to try the decoart Americana Enchanted. So I just want to find out if these are going to bring pearls up like other paints do, because then it opens up more possibilities for different artworks. So I'm not using much because these were not the easiest to get hold of for me. So I've got blue, gold and violet. All as I have mixed up is 5 grams paint and 5 grams floetrol into each of these cups, just so I can do a test. The pearls will show up no matter whether I've got lots or little, just depending on how many pearls will actually show. But there's 30 grams here, which should be enough for this size canvas. I probably would have used more in the past. I just don't want to waste them if they're not going to work. So I thought this would be a good experiment. So yeah, these small cups are 5 grams paint, 5 grams floetrol. Then I have my Marte black, which is 48 grams paint, 96 grams floetrol, and 27 grams water. That is the consistency that seems to work for me. That brings pearls up in a good way. So pearls will show up because it's thin enough, but it's not too thin that the pearls go all weird and out of shape. But in saying that, I do feel that this Enchanted is a little bit thinner than my Extreme Sheen, so it may work out different. I could end up with a completely black canvas and no pearls will show up. Don't know. That's why we got to kind of experiment and test this out, just to see if it works. So ultimately, I'm just going to pour some of this colour down. This is the thing, I don't know what colours they are once I've mixed them, because they all come out this creamy colour, whitey, whatever. Alright, that looks like the yellow one. That one there was probably the violet. There's a slight tinge in the colour that I can see. So the main reason why I pour them like this zigzag or not precisely in a puddle is because it mixes the colours up a little bit better. Otherwise you end up just getting rings of colour. I so hope this works. So far with these paints, I've only tried one painting, and that is a ghost swipe. That's how I always test out my paints. I always do a familiar artwork. So when I do a ghost swipe, it shows me how the paints behave, it shows me consistency. So I tend to stick with doing that each time I use a different brand or use a new paint, just to see how it behaves. And I'm using a black colour to pour over the top of this, because the pearls, the Enchanted seem to show better on a black base, or a darker base at least. Okay. I'm kind of excited but a bit nervous. If it doesn't work out, it's not the end of the world. I just don't like wasting paint when something doesn't work. So I thought I'm going to have to try it just to see. And blue, purple and gold always look good together. So that was my thought. And again, this won't look its full potential until it dries. Even if pearls come up, it'll have to dry before it actually shows off properly. So I always pour my top coat through a strainer now because I got clumps once before and I don't like that. So we're just pouring our black top coat straight over the top. And I'm not doing it overly fast. And I won't scrape my cup out either. Okay, that will do. So the good thing is, it doesn't even look like I had any paint blobs, but I'd rather strain it and not have any than don't strain it and a few pop up. So now, just like we do with all other pearl pours, we're going to go tilt over the edge, but I need to tilt a little bit of excess off at the same time on that first corner. There we go. Come back. Now I'm going to go to this second corner, over and back. Now down to this third corner, over and back, and then my last corner. As you can see, the paint's starting to go a little bit like, is there enough? There will be. You just have to tilt it so it covers. And then come back. Now, there's a couple of spots where the paint didn't go all the way over on the edges. So just run your finger under. It's not on the front of the canvas, it's always on the base. And don't know if you guys can see this, but we have pearls. They are showing up. So I've got to bring that last little bit of paint back to the center, which I stopped doing at the time. Just so it stretches over. But that's going to have to do. So, yeah. Sometimes the very corners don't get a bit of paint on them. So you just have to just run your finger under and just dab that little bit of black on the corner, which usually has pearl paint in it, and it will come along. Now I'm just running my finger underneath and getting off any of those excess strips because I don't want those. I'm so excited right now. I can see pearls are developing. Whether what they turn into is really going to be the waiting game for them to dry, because these shimmer paints tend to, as they dry, the color comes out in them more. Like I can see there's gold, purple, blue, gold, purple. There's a mixture, but until they dry, they're not really going to show their full potential. Normal pearl pours, you can actually see a little bit of like more color in it. So I think this is just going to be one of those ones where I'm going to be overly anxious for it to dry. Sorry, I just always blow my blowtorch Just make sure there's no dust on it, because even after one day, for somehow a little bit of dust or fur or something seems to get on there. Now I am going to torch this very... It's not close, it's not far away, it's just enough to pop any bubbles. And sometimes it can bring up more pearls. I'm not really expecting a lot of pearls to come up with torching. I just want to make sure that all the bubbles are gone. Each time I go over it, I can see a couple more popping, so that looks like it's about it now. Oh, cool. Got no idea how excited I am. I was so worried I was going to be wasting my new enchanted paint on a pearl pour that wasn't going to do anything. So I've done this with some other prep paints, and I've ended up with just a completely black canvas from the top coat paint or the base, whichever way you want to call it. It's gone over and there's been no reaction with the metallic underneath, so they've never popped up. But this is cool. So I can't really do too much apart from wait. From the shape of the pearls, it is telling me that these here are thinner than my extreme sheens, which I already had that feeling they were going to be. It's just they're not as circular, and they've come up a little bit, just, I call them boulder shaped. They're kind of like river stones. They come up slightly irregular in the shape of them instead of being a complete circle. So that usually is a sign of the metallics or the colors underneath being slightly thinner. I get it with some pearl pours, and yeah, I get it with other bits and pieces, but I'm still really happy because this was a test to see if they work, not so much a test to have perfection. But as you can see, they're still growing. They're still encasing and growing into that center. So now I'm just going to pause this, come back in about 10-15 minutes and see how many more have encased this darker area. And then it's just going to be waiting to see how many pearls actually, how they shine once they are dry. So pausing, and we'll be back soon. Okay, we're back. So the lighting in the camera, and that doesn't make this the easiest to see, but I'm so excited that this worked. So I have pearls all the way around. They do fizzle out a little bit. So over this end here, there's pearls there, but they're softer. When I've got more intense ones running through this section here, and this is closing up. This will probably continue to close. It's been quite cold here this morning. It's probably now it's probably close to about 9 degrees Celsius, but it was 3 degrees Celsius this morning. So it's cold. Pearls always take longer to show up when it's cold, for me anyway. But I'll probably have a part of a black area here. But I'm so excited. So as these dry, the the shimmery part of them is just enhanced way more and more as it dries. So I probably won't see how this is going to behave until at least probably 12 hours once the edges are drying, and then I can see how they're behaving compared to the rest. Pardon me. But if it's anything like the I did a ghost swipe with these paints and it turned out beautiful. The colors are just very enhanced, radiant. They kind of jump up at you. So this is a positive experiment that worked out well. So this was virtually this is the lid. So see how it's like a creamy colour, white at the bottom? That's the lid that I put a little bit of paint on. And that there has dried beautiful. It changes colour a little bit in different lighting. That's the gold one. I can't show you the purple because the purple one comes with a sticker, so I haven't put any colour on top. But that was just so when I put them away, I can actually see what colours are what. But this is going to turn out awesome. It looks like the blue is a little bit more subtle, but again, I won't know till it dries. I think the blue is through here, over here, and down in that section. When next to it there's purple, and then next to it there's gold. So they will all change as they dry. And see how there's white parts in the center here? They may stay a little bit white because I'm not 100% sure. I haven't used these paints enough to know exactly how they behave. I know they dry shimmery, but they dry shimmery on a black surface or a darker surface much better. So my ghost white was done on a dark blue, turned out great. I haven't done anything on a black yet, so I'm wondering to see what colors that they turn out like. But really, really happy with the result. And this is what you got to do when you get a paint. You have to try it out to see what it's going to do for you and how it's going to look. But there's not much more I can do, but bring you down for a close-up and then show you again once it has dried. And I believe it's going to be absolutely awesome. So I'll bring you down for a close-up. So as you can see from here, see how it's more intense there and then kind of fades out a little bit? They're still there and they will dry shimmery. The only difference is I didn't put tons of paint down because I didn't want to waste a lot on a test run. But as we get closer, you can see there's pearls all the way around on the whole thing. Just got to get the right angle to show. So there's pearls there. They're just more subtle in their colouring. I don't know if I can really show the shimmer yet. I'm going to hold this right here and get my torch. See how the colours are coming up? So as it dries, they will light up more. It's not a very powerful torch. But you can see the colour in there already. Like, see, even over here, you can see that gold. Let's try a different angle. Because they're light reflective, they pick up different angles better than others. But I'm so excited. And see how I said that they're a little bit not completely circular? That's because this paint is thinner than my extreme sheen. So I could mix it up a little bit thicker, but you don't want to overdo it because then they're too thick. They don't pop up through the black. So there's a fine line when doing pearl pours between getting an artwork that works and an artwork that doesn't work. And if you over tilt it, you will stretch them out too much. And they'll become very unusual shaped, very wonky. So I try not to over tilt. I go the four corners and then bring the paint back to the center. If you continue to tilt it back and forth, you may get more pearls come up because of the friction, but you will also get very uneven shaped and sometimes very stretched out looking. But there we go. So I'm really super happy. I hope you guys like this. And I'll do a dried piece at the end. I'll try and combine a couple of videos so I can show you the dried artwork. But like normal, like, comment, share, and subscribe if you have not already. And let me know what you think. So far, it doesn't look as magical as it will, but I'm sure it's going to turn out absolutely awesome when it finishes. So thank you so much. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon for another pour. Okay, bye.